Hello everyone, welcome to the session on system simulation and modeling. In today's session, we are going to discuss the queuing models. So before that, in the last session, what we have discussed is that is the steps for simulation. So that is what is the various steps for simulating the given problem or a real world problem, right. So as we discussed in the various steps, so before going to implement anything, so if I want my system to perform very well or efficiently, then we need to go for what? The simulation. And here in this session, we are going to discuss the queuing model. Actually, in this first module, whatever we are covering in that, so the textbook we are referring, in that we have two chapters. One is the whatever till now I have covered. So that is, so from starting with the simulation definition, that is when it is appropriate, when it is not appropriate, the advantages, disadvantages, the area of applications, and then about the system and the types of system, components of system, and the model, and what are the types of models we have, and then the steps in solving the problem, or else the simulating the real world problem. So these all comes under the first chapter, and in the second chapter we have examples how we are going to do the simulation. So there we have a queuing model and the inventory model. So today's sessions we are going to learn this queuing model. So basically, in order to learn this queuing model, so they have given the example of single channel queue and the multiple channel queue. So before that, let us know what is this queuing model is, and what are all the characteristics of queuing model, and if I want to do the simulation for these queuing model, what are all the important things, and what are the action to be taken place, what are all the inputs that is needed for this particular problem. Okay, so let us see what is this queuing model is, or a queuing system is. So so if we consider the queuing system, the name, the queue is nothing but what? Is nothing but the waiting line. The waiting line for the customer. Okay, so here we are in the queuing system, we have two terminologies. One we are going to use as the customer, and the second one is we are going to use that one as the server. Okay, so here basically the customer is referred to the one who is request for the service, who wants to take the service from the server. Okay, so that is called as a customer, and the server is the one who is going to provide the services for the customer. Okay, so this is request. Okay, so for service. Okay, the server is the one who is going to provide the service to the customer. So he is going to provide the service to the customer. Okay, so here for the example, if you consider the customer, so here various examples are there, like your if you consider the banking system, the customer who wants to take in order to do the transaction, they want to they will come into the system, right. So that customer also consider as the customer here, and the server will become whom? The clerk or the accountant who is working in that particular bank. So he will become the server. So say for example, if you consider your computers, by that time your computer machine or the programs that is running in this machine will be considered as your customer, and the server is nothing but your CPU, how it is going to be process that particular data. So that is the server. Okay, and if you consider any workshop, like by that time the machines will be considered as in the customer, and who will be the server? When the machine will get breakdown, by that time who is going to repair that? The repair person will become what? The server. So like this we can give n number of systems where we can identify the customer and the server. Okay, so here each server will be having its own identity or a state of that particular server. So usually we are going to represent this server as busy or idle. So every time, so whenever we are solving the simulation, we need to think of three things. One is the entity, and another one is the activity, and another one is the state of the system. So what that customer need, that is the service he need. Okay, one thing is that, and the entity, so who that customer is, we need to think of, and then what kind of service he need, and by that time what is the status of that particular server, who is the server and what is the status of that particular server, we need to think of. So you can give n number of example for this customer and the servers. Okay, so the next thing is, here we are going to learn some of the characteristics of this queuing model. Okay, so let us learn that the characteristics of queuing model. So, or else we also call this one as the elements of queuing model. So, say for example, whenever if I want to represent my queuing model, how exactly we can represent in an diagrammatically is, so if you consider this is the calling population, or it is like a system or a system environment. So here this is the system I am going to represent with a queue, and then so the server. So this will be the waiting line, and this is called as in calling population. So whatever the elements or the characteristics we have in a queuing model, this can be represented in simple diagram itself. Okay, so whatever the diagram I have used here, this is the example for single channel queue. Okay, so why? Because here we have only one server and we have a queue, and then we have a calling population. That's why that means that the entire system can be represented like this. Okay, so now let us see what are all the different characteristics of this queuing model which comes under this queuing system. Okay, so the first one is your calling population. So that is so calling population is nothing but the population of the potential customer is called as an calling population. So that is the population of potential customer is known as the calling population. Then what is that potential customer means? So here, as we know that customer means he might be anything. So that is the customer who is coming into the bank, so to take the service, or else the students are coming into the college to to learn the subject and all. So that will be considered as a customer. Or else the patients are coming into the clinic, so who takes the service from the doctor and all. So those are all considered as in what? The calling population who wants to take the service. Okay, so that is called as in calling population. So that is the object of interest, we can say, that is the population of potential customer. Already we have discussed, so the example for this customer. Okay, so who is interested in to come into the system to take the service, those are all called as in the potential customers. Okay, so now we need to think of the characteristic of this calling population. So here we have two types of calling population. The calling population might be finite calling population or it might be infinite calling population. So that means that if you consider any system, so by that time the number of customers who is coming into the system, it will be restricted one. Restricted, and then infinite means we doesn't have any restrictions to entering into the system, the customer who enter into the system. The example for this infinite calling population is the banking system. The customer who is coming into the bank, restricting them to come or do not come into the system, right? So we can't restrict them. So we can't say that the number of customers, so these are all the number of customer who has to come into the system. Now, so like that we are not going to tell that, right? So or else the students who are waiting in the canteen or ticket counter. So if you want to see any movie, by that time you need to take the ticket, right? So before going to issue that, so the queue will be there, right? So that is a infinite calling population, right? So this is the example for infinite calling population. So that is, here we don't have any queue limit. Okay, so that is infinite calling population. N number of customers who is willing to take the service is called as an infinite calling population. And then what is this finite calling population is, the number of customers are restricted here. That means that here, if you say for example, if you have a factory which is having only 10 machines, that is going to give the service for the sum of the customer for that 10 machines only. College intake is only 120 intake. So that means that only out of 120 only all the students has to be enrolled. No other, more than 120 the students cannot be enrolled into this particular system. So that is called as the finite calling population. Okay. So and then infinite calling population is the example for, so which is having the infinite one. So that is, here we don't have any restriction to come into the system. So that is the calling population is. The second characteristics of this queuing model is the capacity of the system. So that is system capacity. So in this, the system capacity, we have here also the system capacity is nothing but what is the length of that particular waiting line. So here also the capacity is going to be, fixed one or varying one or infinite, we can say. Infinite one. Okay, so here the fixed one in the sense, so the number of, so say for example, here the calling population is finite and the system capacity is fixed one. So for that example is the number of patients coming into the clinic when it is scheduled one. So that is only for 4 patients. By that time it is fixed one. Okay, so it's not going to be changed. Even though the external factor affects, so doctor is not going to check that the next patient, right? So that is the fixed one. And here the waiting also, so here it is restricted one. So and also varying and infinite one ones. So the same example we can take. So that is the banking system, the number of customers, even though number of customers are more, so here waiting line may increase. So that is the variant or infinite capacity of the system. Okay, so here system capacity, that is the waiting length. So what is the waiting length of the system. So we can say. So say for example, another example for this fixed length capacity is, so if you have a workshop which can give the service only for 10 cars. By that time only 10 cars can be allowed. So the room which is having the capacity of taking only 10 cars, by that time it is going to give the service for 10 cars only, not more than that particular 10 cars. So once any one of the car gets serviced, then it is able to place the another car into that particular place. Okay, so that is the finite and the infinite capacity of the system. So otherwise, so even though they are waiting in the queue, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is about the calling population and the system capacity. And another one characteristics of this queuing system is the another characteristics, that is third characteristic of this queuing model is the arrival rate. Or arrival process we can say. So here, so whenever in the queuing model, whenever the customer coming into the system, we doesn't know at what time is going to come, and that too here we are simulating it. That means that we are going to predict it. Definitely we are going to apply some of the distribution to get the to get this arrival rate of the customer, at what time the customer is coming into the system. So we need to find out the inter-arrival time of a given system. We need to find out. So at what time this customer is coming into the system. So what is the rate? So at what time the first customer arrives, at what time the second customer arrives, and what time the third customer arrives into the bank. So that we need to find out. Either it can be deterministic or stochastic in nature. That is deterministic in the sense already we have scheduled one. So that is, say for example in the doctor's clinic, so that is the giving the appointments for those patients. Depending upon the services, they are going to fix up the service for that particular patient. So that is the deterministic one. Stick one, and then we have a stochastic also. So in the stochastic system, so here we doesn't know at what time the customer is coming into the system to take the services. So we doesn't know at what time the machine may get failure, right? So and also we doesn't know at what time the customer is coming into the bank. We doesn't know. So at what time the demand is coming into the inventory, that is also we doesn't know. So those are all comes under this stochastic in nature, the arrival rate of the customer. So as I said, in the queuing model we have two terms, customer and server. In that I am talking about the customer's arrival rate. So we need to fix up with whether it is a deterministic one or whether it is a stochastic one. So if it is a stochastic one, then we need to go up with the various distributions. So using those distributions, we need to come up with the inter-arrival time of that particular customer. Okay. So the next characteristics of the queuing model is the behavior and queue discipline. Okay. So here the behavior of the customer we are going to discuss here. So here whenever we have a queue, that is waiting line, by that time what is the behavior of that particular customer we are going to discuss. So here there are three types of behaviors. So that is bark, bawl or renege, or another one is jockey. Okay, so here bark means, so whenever the this is the scenario where the customer will be in the line, okay, and he will see that the line is very long, okay, but that time he will think of leaving the system. That scenario is called as an, or else that behavior is called as an bark. Okay, so whenever the students get admitted into the college, by that time they have to go through some procedure, okay, they have to verify their documents with a principal. So there will be a lot, huge of queue. So whenever the deadline come, okay, so the last date for admission, when it comes, definitely the students will think of getting the admission on that day. Okay, everyone will come along with their parents. So the parents does not have a patience nowadays, right? So they will think that, oh, so queue is very lengthy, so let us go for coffee and all. Okay, so that is the case, that is balk. Okay, and another one is the another behavior of the customer is renege. So depending upon the waiting line, these behavior we are discussing. Okay, so after being in the line, when they think that the line is moving too slowly, by that time he will think of, he will leave the system. So first one is bark, in the sense, so before going to entering into the system itself, if the queue is very lengthy, he will leave the system. But the renege is the one where if he is already in the queue, and if he observe that the queue is moving very slowly, by that time he will think of leaving the system. So that is the renege is. Okay. Say for example, best example for the students is the canteen. So whenever they have a lunch break or a tea break, they will come into the canteen and to take the coffee or any snacks. By that time what happens is, if the queue is very lengthy and he is waiting in the queue and he thinks that his class is there, definitely he is going to leave that one. Okay, so that particular scenario is called as a renege. Okay, the behavior is called as a renege. The next one is jockey. So jockey is the one, so where here if you have more than one servers, okay, and if they are waiting in the line. So assume that here we have some customer, here we have some customer, here we have some customer, and depending on the number of the server or else customers, or else, so depending on the rate at which the server is working, so that is how fastly that server is working, based on that the customer may enter into that particular line. Okay, so that means that if he thinks that his line, whenever he is standing in this position, and if he thinks that his line is going very slowly, then he will think of jumping to the another line when that particular line is going to give the service very quickly. So that scenario or that behavior is called as a jockey. Okay, best example is in the shopping mall. Okay, so in whenever we are get the bill for that particular whatever we have shopped, so generally we will be having 4 to 5 counters, right? So in that what we will do, so before going to enter into that particular queue, we will look into that, so which is the queue which is minimum one, right? So we will enter. So sometimes, so because the next to next some customer may have taken lots of things, by that time the customer will think of jumping into the another queue. So if that particular queue is moving very fastly, right? So that is the scenario is called as a jockey. And then next we need to discuss about the queue discipline. Okay, so till now we have talked about how customer reacts, or what is the behavior of that particular queue we have. Okay, now we need to think of what is the queue discipline. So whenever we are in the queue, so how exactly the service will be provided to the customer who is waiting in the queue. Okay, so there are various disciplines here, the standards. One is first in first out, who will comes first, they will take the service first. So that is the first in first out. And then last in first out, who will enter through the system last, he will take the service first. So that is if you consider the execution of our program like recursive programs, so that will be considered as an first in first out, sorry, last in first out. So first in first out, last in first out. Okay, in the similar way, according to the priority of the processing speed. So that is the priority of that particular service. So according to that also priority queue. Okay, according to that also we are going to give the services, or the discipline may vary, and then depending on the shortest processing time also we are going to allocate that particular service to the customer. So this is how we can give the service to the customer depending upon the behavior of the customer and then queue discipline. Okay, the next characteristic of our system, queuing system, is the last one is service time and service mechanism. So this is the fifth one, service time and service mechanism. So here the service time is purely not the deterministic, it is probabilistic. Okay, why? Because we doesn't know how much time the customer is going to take the service. It may vary, right? So because of that reason, so here using some of the distribution, we are going to give the service time for that. We are going to fix the service time for the customers. Okay, so and then the service mechanism. So here the service mechanism is basically depends on the servers. So depending on the number of servers we have. So here we can have single server or multiple server. Okay, single server or multiple server. So you have only one server, by that time it will make you if the queue is very lengthy, definitely time will waste. So okay, so queue length will be very high, definitely you will get the service very late. The delay in that particular service will be late. So if you have more than one servers, by that time you may get the service quickly. Okay, depending upon the problem or depending upon the system, so you are going to get that. So whether we need to go for a single server, whether we need to go for a multiple server, we need to decide on. So therefore, what are the characteristics of our queuing model? So first characteristic is calling population. Who is interested in coming into the system, that is called as a calling population. It might be finite or infinite. So if next one is the system capacity. The system capacity is nothing but what is the length of that particular waiting line, whether it is restricted one, unrestricted one. So already we have discussed the examples also, and then we have discussed the arrival process. So in the arrival process, so we have a deterministic and stochastic. So if it is already scheduled one, that is nothing but deterministic. So if you are going to, if it is not determined or which is not scheduled, by that time we need to go for a number of distributions. Okay, and the next we have learned the service time and behavior and the queue discipline. So in the behavior we are studying what is the nature of that particular customer when they are waiting in the queue. That is, there are three different types of behaviors occurs. One is bark, revenge and jockey. So bark is the one who leaves the system. So whenever he see that the line is very too high, and then revenge is the one, so being in the line, and if you think that that line is going very slowly, then he will leave the system, that is revenge. And then jockey is the one, so where he is going to jump into the another line if he think that his line is going very slowly. So that is the jockey. And then the queuing disciplines we have learned, that is first in first out, and then last in first out, and then priority queue, and then we have a based on the processing time, shortest processing time, we are going to allocate the service time for that customer. And then we have a service time and the service mechanism. So here the service time is not a permanent one, or else here we are doing the simulation. Definitely here we need to do the prediction. For prediction we need to go for the different distributions. Okay, by applying this various distributions, we need to get the service time. We need to fix up the service time for the customers. And then we have a service mechanism. Service mechanism in the sense, so whether we need to go for a single server or multiple server. So if you have a single server, how efficiently it is working. If you have a multiple server, how efficiently it is working. So this is about the system, that is the queuing system. So next we are moving to solve the problem that is based on the single server queuing model. Okay, single channel queue. So here the calling population will be there. So we will be having the waiting line, and then you have only one server. So waiting line, this is your calling population. The calling population. So here, so the customer may enter into the system, okay, and then he may take the service from the server and he may departure. So that is the what kind of event occurring. So that is arrival of the customer and then departure from the customer. So that is, this process is called as an arriving, and once he get the service, the next process is, so again he may come back to the calling population, or else he can go out of the system. So that is departure event. So two types of events occur, arrival and departure. So here we need to think of, so when the customer arrive into the system, what happens, and when the customer leave the system, when what is the state of that particular waiting line, we need to think of. So that can be represented using the flow chart. As we know that here two types of events are there, that is the arrival event and the departure event of this queuing system. So the first event is you can consider the arrival event, or you can consider this just completion of that service, that is the departure event we can say. Okay, so if we are concentrating the arrival of a new event, what happens? So if from the calling population, if the new customer is coming into the system means, so there will be having a queue. Okay, so either there may be a queue or there may not be having a queue. So what happens? So what he should do is, so when he arrives, that is the arrival event occurs, but that time, so what is the action to be taken care by that unit or a customer is, we need to look into the server. So whether the server is busy or idle, we need to think of. If the server is busy, then that unit or the customer should enter into the queue. Okay, and if that server is idle, then he need to take the service from the server. Since the server is idle, definitely directly he is going to give the service to that particular customer. Okay, so this is at the arrival event. In the arrival event, what happens? So if the new customer is coming into the bank, by that time if the clerk is busy in giving the service to some people, by that time what happened? So server is busy, the status of that person is what? Busy. So if he is busy, what the person has to do? The customer has to wait in the queue. So that means that it has to enter into the waiting line. If the server is idle, then he can take the service from the server. Okay, and this is about what? Arrival event occurs. Whenever the arrival event occurs, this is the action we need to take care. And then if the service just completed, by that time what is the action to be taken place is, so departure event. So one customer is completed his work and he is going out of the system. So now what happens? There may be a chances of in the queue, there may be chances of the customer who is waiting or may not waiting. Okay, so the number of customers may be or may not be in the waiting line. So now we need to look into where the waiting line. If the unit is present in the waiting line, then remove that unit from the waiting line and start giving the service to that particular customer. Otherwise what happens if there is no customer at all in the system? By that time what happens? Your server will become idle. Okay. So here two possibilities. One is there may be chances of the customer who waiting in the system, or else there may not be having a customer in the waiting line. If the customer is present, then that customer has to be removed from this particular waiting line and start giving the service to that particular customer. Otherwise the system or else the server will become the idle. So this is the flow chart for what? Whenever the arrival event occurs, whenever the departure event occurs, so what are the action to be taken care of? Okay. So while simulating the problem, you need to remember these actions. Why? Because here we are concentrating only on the queuing models. Whatever we are solving is based on these two events only, that is arrival event and the departure event. Okay, and then next we are going to see what is the potential event action depending upon the arrival. Okay, so let us write the table for that and then discuss. So what is the action we are going to taken place at the arrival event. So let us see what are the actions here. So if the customer enters into the bank, by that time, so we look into the server status, whether the server is busy or idle. So server is busy, so by that time queue is not empty, that means that it will enter into the queue. So if the server is busy and the queue is not empty, then what is the action to be taken care by this unit, that is the customer? He has to enter into the queue. So that is enter into queue. Okay, so sorry, and the customer coming into the bank and then again the server is busy, by that time queue is not empty. By that time what is the action to be taken care by that customer? Even though whether the queue is empty or not, he has to come into the queue. Why? Because since the server is busy. So that's why enter into the queue. The same procedure, that is enter into queue, right? So now new customer is arriving and the server status is idle and queue is not empty. So it is impossible. This is the meaningless statement. So that is, it is impossible one. Okay, and then the next one is, so queue status is empty. Okay, there is no queue, there is no customer that is present in the queue and server is idle. Okay, by that time if the new customer is coming into the system, by that time what happens? Directly he can take the service from the whom? From the server. Okay, so here whenever the potential customer is coming into the system, by that time he need to look into the server and the queue. So the next one is we need to think about the server outcome after service completion. Okay, here we need to think of the server status and the queue status, but here we need to consider the departure event. So that is service, the server action or server outcome when the departure event occurs. On departure event. Okay, let us see what happens. Queue status is not empty, in the sense what? There is a unit or else the customer that is present in the queue. So, and your server is busy. Yes, there is a possible. So, it is possible. So, server will be busy at that particular time by giving the service to the customer. And then one more here is queue status is empty. That means that there is no customer at all and your server is busy. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. This is impossible one. Okay, and then so server is idle and your queue status is not empty. See, server idle and queue status is not empty. How it is possible? How can be server will be idle whenever the customer are present in the queuing line? No, it is not possible, right? This is the impossible statement or impossible status. Okay, and then this is the one, so where server is idle if there is no elements or there is no customer in the bank, or else if the queue is empty. By that time, so it will be giving the service to, the server will be idle at that particular time. So remember, these all things are very important in order to simulate the queuing models. In the next class, we will talk about, so what is that, in how to calculate the arrival time, how to calculate the service time, and depending upon that, how we are going to generate the simulation for the customer, or else for the banking system, or else for the grocery system. So for the single channel queue, we are going to learn. Okay, thank you.